This is why you need motivation and discipline. This this makes 100% of the success. So we're gonna start off with motivation. Motivation gives you 10% of success. Discipline gives you 90% of success. And people think, why do I need motivation? I can just 90% is enough. But the 10% makes all the difference in accomplishing your goal. Okay, so we're gonna talk about why motivation is important. You need a goal. You need to realize what you want and why we want it. How far are you willing to go for it? Now, having a goal in mind is going to make it easier for you to stay on track and stay disciplined in your fitness journey, in your making money journey, in your dating life, whatever, or you're just trying to accomplish something that's hard, like doing a backflip, climbing Mount Everest or whatever. Excuse me for a second. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so 10% of the think about it. If you lose health, if you lose 90% of your health in the game, the 10% can still help you to defeat your enemies. It's enough. If you just had 90% and you lost it, you're dead. If you just be a disciplined guy, you eventually you're not gonna really try to improve. You're gonna stay consistent, obviously, but what are you trying to achieve? So what I'm trying to say is, if you don't have a goal, if you don't have something that's going to give you happiness in the future, then you're less likely to stay consistent in your journey. You had all the discipline in the world. Every time I lost my goal, my ambition, I always started working out less. Even though the discipline kept me working out, I always started working out less for a shorter time and maybe taking more days off until I realized what I wanted to do, what that I want to achieve. I wanted to be the sexiest motherfucker. I wanted to be the richest motherfucker or the most handsome motherfucker. You have to have a goal in mind to keep you going, to make you push harder. And the discipline is a thing that's gonna cause you to it's gonna cause you 90% of the success. So what I'm trying to if you can be like here's an example. Discipline, you can be disciplined without motivation, but you're like it will feel like pointless, it'll feel worthless. Like why did you start the gym? You started the gym because you wanted a better physique. Now if you started the gym because discipline, then your goal, what is your goal? How are you going to stay consistent on that goal? Here's another example. Like, for example, you're trying to quit porn. Like, why do you want to quit porn? You want to be a better person. You want to stop masturbating and start having sex with real people. But like, it's not easy to quit porn. You need a lot of discipline. So wait, 1 second. If you just think to yourself, "Oh, I want to quit porn because it's bad," that is a goal, but it's not as exciting as I want to quit porn because I want a girlfriend. I want to become more successful. I want to smash girls or guys. It's like, think about the amount of motivation that you'll have from this goal instead of, "Oh, I just want to quit it because it's bad." On day four, on day two, three, and four, if you think like this here, "Oh, I just want to quit because it's bad," then you're gonna end up relapsing on it. You're gonna think to yourself, "Why am I doing this? Do I need to be doing this? It can't be that bad." But if you're thinking, "Oh, I wanna start having sex, I wanna start becoming more attractive, more rich, more successful," then you're gonna be like, "This is something worthwhile. This is something worth quitting my porn addiction for. This is something that I like to work towards. You understand what I'm saying? If you think, oh, I want to go to the gym just to become fit, okay. Oh, I want to go to the gym because I want to be the biggest, strongest, sexy motherfucker in the world. I want to compete in bodybuilding. I want to attract so many girls. I want to be Chad. I want to be handsome motherfucker. I want to be big dick alpha male. Then you're more likely to stay consistent on it. That motivation is kickstarting you, and the discipline is what takes over. And you need motivation to be able to work towards your goals. You need, I mean, to be able to stay consistent on those goals and work harder for them, because there's a big goal that you have, and you don't need to go on this David Goggins mindset where you're thinking, where David Goggins wants is not listen, he builds his credibility on discipline, on working. But he has a goal. He wants to take the souls of the trainers who had like who previously had no hope in their training. He motivated his crew to push through the pain, to have encouragements, and then he took the souls of those like I'm not didn't actually take the souls. He just broke their spirit, because when those drill sergeants were training, they didn't have this motivation. They just had to work to it like that. So that what pushed David Coggins to work harder and accomplish his goals. He wanted to run a 100-kilometer run. He kept going because he had a big goal and he thought this was worth it. So the 10% matters. Okay. Okay. The next thing, discipline keeps you going. This is where bottom of 90% of people fail. 1 second. Discipline is a thing that's gonna get you 90% of the results. Motivation matters, but you have a goal the first day you want to start gymming, for example. Then after 1 day or 1 week of motivation, discipline carries after that point. And now if you decide to rely on motivation, you keep this will cause you to keep like you go for 1 week of gymming and then you stop for a few months and you go back because you want to get better, improve your life, then you go then you made no progress throughout the whole year. Most of, like this what separates the 90% from the 10%. The 90% are a bunch of fucking bitches. They compared to the 10% of people who get what they want, and then they want to complain. The 90% of bottom 90% of people want to complain why the 10% takes all the girls, has so much money, so arrogant, whatever. When they do want to put in the work themselves to escape the 90% of men. Back in the day, 90%, 100% of people, like 90% of men, it was a top 90% of men. The Spartan culture, the warriors back in the day, all of them are forced to work. All of them all of them are forced to be in shape. All of them are forced to fight. All of them are forced to um to conquer. That's why before it was 90% top 90% and bottom 10%. The 10% of people are the poor people, the starving people, the peasants. The 90% of people are the knights, the kings, and the business, like the merchants. So, but now it's changed. Most of the people, after the wars happened, now peace happened. And now people want to become lazy. 90% of people are lazy, uglier, fatter. And 10% of people, the people who are willing to put in the work, are thriving off the success. Back then, you could get a wife easily because hypergamy didn't exist, but now things have changed. If you don't put in the work, then you won't get what you want. So 90% of people are a bunch of losers. And if you want to complain and say, oh, it's my genetics or it's my situation, stay a fucking virgin. Okay. Now, top 10% of men get you. Top 10% of men get the woman you want because they put in 90% of the work. I said 90% of the work comes on discipline. Now, um, that that is the thing. Discipline is this has been preached for a long time. Discipline is a thing that carries you. You keep going even though you don't feel like going. Like I haven't skipped a day in the gym of on the days that I'm training for a while, for a long time, just because I know it's better than not going to the gym at all. And I am seeing a lot of success in 90% of the work. Like okay, sorry. Um, got off track there. Um, 10% of the men get to the woman because they put 90% of the work. As I said before, the top bottom 90% of pussies blame their genetics, they blame their looks, they blame their situation. But have you heard of so many stories? Why do you think every story is the same? Oh, I started from the bottom and I went to the top. Every single successful person said that Mike Tyson was bullied, Mike Tyson was poor, and then he became the greatest boxer. The 17-year-old kid that was trending back in the day, I think it was 2019, he started from the bottom, he was poor, he created a business, and now he's rich and retiring his family at 17. Hamza Ahmed started as he started as a like he started as how can I say, he didn't have the best genetics, he didn't have the best um in looks, but still he retired his family at age 23, I think. Back in 2023 he became a millionaire, all because he tried. These are many every Why do you think every story is the same? Every story, oh, I started at the bottom and I went to the top because I put in the 90%, I put in the work. Now most people will try this because they get inspired by motivation, and then they try to make the business, they try and make the try and go to the gym, and it only lasts for a short time when they see no progress. Now those are the bitches. You don't want to be, you are not them, you are different. There's the Let me separate the categories. First is 50%, bottom 50%. Then there's mediocre 40%, and then there's top 10%. If you want to improve your life, you're gonna have to go up the ladder one by one, step by step in the ladder. So since you want to improve your life, you're watching this video, you're going to have to climb, you're going to have to put in the work and prove to God that you deserve your results. So what I'm trying to say is, don't give up because you see no results, unless you try you unless it happens, like let's say you don't make no results in like 1 year or 2 years, then you can change your niche, you can change your workout routine, you can change your strategy. Something's wrong. So okay, I'm gonna move on to the next point. um the beginning is the hardest, the middle is where it starts to become manageable, and the end is easy. When you start your first playthrough in a game, the beginning is always the hardest, especially when you're starting on the hardest mode. You keep dying to people you thought you beat easily in the first. You keep dying to the easiest enemies, but you get the upgrades. You advance more in the story. You get the new abilities, and then in mid gameplay, now you pass the beginning stage. You saw getting minimal results. You can't even defeat one basic enemy. You upgrade your stuff, you're able to deal with a bunch of them. You're able to defeat your first boss fight. And then once you reach the end of the story, you maxed out your upgrades, you maxed out your stats, you maxed out everything. Now it feels easy. You feel like, why is it so, why am I able to dominate so easily on the hardest mode? You know what I mean? So it's same thing in real life. You start your, sorry, something, noise. You start your business now, you see no results, you get no sales. But same logic applies in the game. After 6 months to a year, you made your first sale, you getting more attraction, and you basically now you get motivation because you're seeing results. And then once you make your first 10K, then from there it becomes easy. You know exactly what to do. You have your routine ready. You're not uh, you're ready to conquer. Now it becomes easy. Now not giving up was worth it. So similar with with any part of your life, your dating life, your like when you first start cold approaching girls, you you probably get rejected a lot of times. Once you change up your game, once you look better, then then everything starts getting easy. Then once you get your first lay, and then from there it becomes like second nature to you. It's just easy to do it. Same thing with the gym, same thing with making money. So don't neglect the 100%. The 100% makes the difference. Don't neglect motivation, don't neglect discipline. Focus on your goals, don't give up, and you will see results like I did. Anyway, end of the video. I have a course on how to gain an aesthetic physique. This will fast track your progress. And you have to, the beginning stage I was talking about earlier, the time will be shortened from 1 year or 2 years to 6 months to 4 months. You gain your aesthetic physique, you get past the beginning stage, and then you start seeing results, and then you want to stay consistent on your goals. I have a course in the link in the description. Peace. Trust me, you're not going to be disappointed in this course.